The levels of betrayal that we learned today that Nolan Wells went through at the hands of his white friends towards the end of his life is horrifying, bro. It's sickening. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Nolan's family did a press conference earlier today with Benjamin Crump, Al Sharpton, and other activists present, where they officially addressed the media and the public, and they officially laid out their case. Now, during this press conference, we learned a couple new details that we didn't know. First off, I was completely off and wrong about the phone situation. Turns out I was giving the friends too much benefit of the doubt. I thought at the very least, man, if y'all were responsible for killing the little homie, y'all would at least give up his phone voluntarily in his property. At the very least, even if you killed the boy, bruh, you would give his family back his property voluntarily. Come to find out, bruh, it was a fight for the family to get back his property. So first off, I was under the notion they called the family up and said, hey, we got his phone, here it is. No, they apparently had to track Nolan's phone. They had to use Life 360 to track his phone. And when they track his phone, it wasn't until they popped up to get the phone is when the friends have no other option but to hand it over.
We are grateful, especially to our friend Tashima, who actually was one of the people who helped us that night. She went and picked up his cell phone from where it was and then provided that to us, because we of course contacted authorities to figure out who to do the report with, whether it was the county or the city, which then turned into DMR, who I contacted immediately from there. And but so our friend actually, when I called her, Nolan is best friends with her two sons, Jalen and Javon. When I called her, I said, Tashima, have you seen Nolan? He's missing. No one has seen him. No one has talked to him. The boys were actually with her sons. So they opened up their Snapchat, because a lot of the kids do have their locations where they're tracking one another. So one of the boys says, well, it's showing that, I can't exactly remember what his location was showing, but my Life 360 location was showing something completely different. It was actually showing that his phone was like he was on land. And so we ended up, she received the phone from that parent.
Before we even get to the deleted messages, the Snapchats, the photos, the videos that was deleted from out of Nolan's phone, let's just address this. If the phone was still on when it got to the home, which is how they were even still able to track it to the friend's house, was because the phone was at least on when it got to the friend's house, then riddle me this. If the phone is on and your homie go missing, his family is calling him, his friends is calling him, I would imagine that if you guys cared about him, if you guys thought he was really missing, y'all would be calling him too to figure out where he's at, right? If that's your homie and you guys left, hey bro, you got home safely? Wouldn't that be the first thing you do? If you left your friend behind on an island and an hour or 2 hours go by as you guys is packing up to get home, you guys is unloading the boat, everything, y'all not calling, hey bruh, is you good? And when you picked up that phone to call his number, wouldn't it be ringing? You would clearly hear that phone ringing if the phone was in your possession as you're calling the phone. And once you realize the phone is ringing back to back and you see his family is calling and his friends is calling and you guys is calling, wouldn't you pick up the phone and call his mom, be like, hey mom, his phone is over here. He left his phone behind. But that never happened. No. While everybody is calling, they had the phone. It took the parents having to track the phone back to their house and pulling up before they could get the phone. To me, that's suspicious. That's sketchy. But this next story about Nolan's car is even more sketchy. So Nolan is pictured with several people on that island, several. Now, one of the dudes he's pictured with on that island, apparently Nolan and a few others went to his house first and parked their cars there. So while Nolan is missing, they go to his vehicle, they locate his vehicle. Now the vehicle is locked. So they're trying to find any signs of him, trying to see if there's any clues left behind to find out where he's at. But the car is locked. The keys to Nolan's car is apparently at the house belonging to one of Nolan's friends. One of the friends who's actually on the island with Nolan called Jax. Now, apparently they get to Jack's crib. Nolan's friends are outside trying to figure out what's going on and what happened, right? What's going on with Nolan? So the father gets to the crib. Jack starts telling the father, man, Nolan was like a brother to me. The father said, that's cool. Where is Nolan Keys at? Right? We're trying to figure out what's going on with Nolan. Jack starts stumbling, starts stalling, starts delaying, starts lying, making up excuses. This entire Key situation really makes your eyebrow raise.
And then we met up where his car was, which was at a separate location. There were issues obtaining the key, but even so, there's just a lot of...
Tell them about what happened with the key.
So I'm gonna let my husband tell you about that, because he actually went up to the door to get the key, because at that point, I was just not in my right mind. This has just been an awful situation, just terrible.
Elmore Wadley, father.
Okay, so the situation with the key. When we got to the house, a few of his friends, they were already there, and they were at the door in the house asking questions. So when I walked up, they were getting, things were getting kind of intense. So I turned to them and told them, I need you guys to calm down. I don't do this to me right now. I need them to kind of trust me so they can give me something. So I was able to calm them down. So the guy, he's in one of the pictures. He came out of the room, half asleep or whatever, I think Jack's or whatever. And I said, look, I'm Nolan's father. I'm here to get his keys so I can get his car. I said, he's like, his car was in New York. His car's parked in New York. So he was like, I don't know, man. I know he's like my brother. I said, well, if Nolan was like your brother, would you please go in your room and see if you can find my son's keys so I can take his car home? He walks off, 2 or 3 minutes, come back. I can't find the keys. I said, okay. So at that point, I get the boys and I get to move them out the house, because I didn't want them to go into the house and start tearing up these people's houses, because there'd never be a hole in the situation. So we walk outside by the car. One of the guys that was in the house with us, he was on the phone with a girl, and the girl told him that Nolan's keys were on top of this Jack's guy's Xbox in the house, because apparently she was there with him earlier. So he goes back up to the door by himself, and 5 minutes later, the keys come out. So now I feel like you lied to me. So now I'm really in distress with you.
The father would have been wrong if he would have went in his jaws, right? Y'all would have called the father all type of names, all type of ghettos, all like all type of names in the book if he would have went up in that boy's jaw, right? That's your brother, that's your homie, you love him, right? We're trying to find him at this point. That car could be a huge missing piece. We say, yo, where the keys at? And you know he was in this crib. He parked in this crib. Like, he parked here. He left the keys here. Before y'all went to the island. You go and search for 3 minutes, come back, oh, I didn't find nothing, sir. It's not here. The key's not here, sir. Only for a girl to say, nah, he's lying. The keys is on top of that Xbox. Yo, if that girl had a vivid memory, understand this, okay? Now, the girl didn't say, yo, the keys is, no, the key, she said the keys is on top of his Xbox. The Xbox is something that you clearly play every day. So if that girl had the foresight to say, yo, the keys is on his Xbox, you went back to look for the quote unquote keys, you spent 3 minutes looking for the keys to come and say, hey, I can't find it. You ain't look on top of your Xbox? You ain't look in your room? So where did you look for these keys at? If it took you 3 minutes to go ahead and look for these keys, where did you look for the keys at that you didn't find it on top of your Xbox? Something that you use and play every day. Clearly you had no intentions on helping this family. Clearly you had no desire on helping this family. And I'm just wondering, bro, what type of people was Nolan around, bro? If these are supposed to be his friends, God, I don't know what an enemy is, man. If these are your friends and you missing, yo, daddy showed up, distressed, trying to do anything to help you out, and your homie, first off, he says he woke up out of his sleep disheveled. Like disheveled. So I'm missing you my so-called brother and you asleep. Like, right? No care or worry in the world. You wake up, hey, bro, can you get Nolan keys? It's not here, sir. Well, I can't find it. 3 minutes later, man, all right, man. Now, it gets worse, okay? So the mama finally addressed the deleted messages and deleted images and videos. Now, apparently when the mama got the phone back, they went through the snap. Now, the Snapchat is where Nolan was communicating with these dudes at. Understand, when Nolan went missing, all the friends went to Snapchat to try to find him. They all was calling his Snapchat. They all was like trying to trace the Snapchat via the Snapchat map, right? So the Snapchat is where he communicated with these people the most. It's where if anything would have happened and he communicated with it, it would have been on Snapchat. The parents get the phone and go through the Snapchat, the entire Snapchat damn near erased, man. Like, yo, they can't find no recent messages. They can't find no recent pictures. Nothing. That's odd. That's strange. Like, what do you mean? Like the Snapchat is wiped clean? Who wiped it clean? Nolan was dead, right?
So when we made it home, my sister and I actually went through Nolan's cell phone, particularly Snapchat, because that is so popular with the children. And when we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no snaps from that day. And we did open it before the 24-hour expiration. So we found that very concerning, only because anyone who's ever been around Nolan will tell you at social gatherings, he's taking videos, he's taking pictures, he's even come up to me when I'm getting ready to go to bed, hey mom, come on, take a picture of me. You know, like that was Nolan. So that's why we feel that things may have been deleted, was because of the fact that there was nothing in either one of his accounts.
The next part actually makes that look a little bit more suspicious. You see, if you want to say, listen, man, he didn't take no pictures and videos that day, that's not suspicious, cool. But he didn't send no snaps that day, he didn't message nobody that day. That's like somebody coming and discovering your phone after you go missing and then seeing you didn't message nobody all week. That's the equivalent to an 18-year-old not sending no messages to nobody. They communicated on Snap to meet up for the beach. The Horn Island. His friends was communicating with him on Snap that day, which is why when he went missing, the first thing they did was go to Snap. So where the messages from the friends at that day? So he didn't snap nobody, he didn't send no messages to nobody that day on Snapchat? Clearly not, bro. Clearly something got deleted. Now why? Who knows? But Benjamin Crump did say they found, or they got an enhanced version of the video we saw where Nolan is getting into the altercation. Now we could hear Nolan screaming and there was a back and forth, but it was hard to make out exactly what they said. They now have an enhanced version. And according to them, the fight that was happening between Nolan and somebody else, Nolan was actually screaming for them to give him back his phone. Nolan was like, give me my damn phone, man. Give me my damn phone. That was the argument back and forth. Now, I'm here to say, what was in that phone that was so precious that they was keeping it from Nolan even when he was screaming at the top of his lungs for them to give him back his phone?
It's important. And then the fact, Reverend Al, that they have this video of an argument that is going on. And you know, thank God all young people, they have cell phones, and anytime you hear people raising their voice, they start the video. And so you hear on the video, Nolan saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And that becomes even more relevant when you think about the story that they are presenting, that Nolan chose to stay behind. That's what they're saying.
If Nolan is screaming for them to give him back his phone and they still kept it and then went home with the phone, what was in that phone that they couldn't let Nolan get the phone back? What did Nolan have in that phone about them that they didn't want out? Because if he's screaming, give me back my phone back, man, what you doing? What the freak? Give me back my phone back. and they still kept his phone. Something was in that phone that they were willing to kill over, man. Something was in that phone that they were willing to kill and do life in prison over before it gets out. And then the mom gets the phone back and things are deleted from the phone. Isn't that the motive right there? You see how when you use common sense, everything lines up? You see how their events and their story doesn't make sense, but when you get more details and you just line up the series of events, it all makes sense. Nolan is yelling to get back his phone. They didn't want to give it to him. Nolan's mom finally gets his phone after Nolan goes missing, and she sees things are deleted from the phone. So what about that phone made y'all want to keep it? What was in that phone that y'all did not want to give it back to Nolan? Man, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this, bro. This is sketchy, bro. This is a different level of betrayal. I've never seen nothing like this before in my life. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think, all right? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here or here or here, to find out how Shannon Sharpe crashed out after being disrespected on his own podcast. I'm going to see you guys in the Shannon Sharpe video. Out of here, folks. Peace.